Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to say it's an honor to speak here this morning in front of so many martial arts brothers and sisters and so many Muaythai dignitaries, also our president here, Dr. Thakchai Tapsuwan. The topic given to me is the social values and contribution of martial arts and combat discipline. Martial art or combat sports in many ways have similar objectives: to defend oneself, loved ones, when necessary, to practice healthy lifestyle, or as simply I would say, a way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then, it's not an act, but it's a habit. Regardless of the origin of our arts, we have one thing in common. And I think every martial artist in this room would agree with me if I would say we would rather fail in honor than succeed in dishonesty. I think this, ladies and gentlemen, is the foundation martial arts stands on. The term martial art actually refers to the art of warfare, derived from Mars, the Roman god of warfare. Finally, when coined in the early 1900s, the term martial art referred mostly to Asian fighting styles, especially in the combat system. Many of them originated in East Asia, but in reality it refers to any codified combat system, regardless of its origin. Ladies and gentlemen, as it was then, I would say it still is now. Martial art is not used to be as a way of aggression, but mostly in defense. The security is and was in the knowledge to have it when needed. I would like to make a statement. The fastest throw is when the sword never leaves the scabbard. The strongest way to block is never to provoke a blow. And ladies and gentlemen, undoubtedly, the cleanest cut is the one withheld. And if we quote Sun Tzu, the art of war is to win without fighting. The martial art industry itself, I would say, has been very constant over the past 100 years. Again, it was used as a form of national defense. Judo, karate, kendo, aikido by the Japanese. Muay Thai, my sport, was the martial art of the battlefields of Siam, a long time before the country was called Thailand. Wushu, no doubt, is the pride of China. But I would say only in the last 50 years, different culture integrated. And in the old days, I would say it was literally impossible for non-Chinese to learn Kung Fu outside of China or Chinatown in the major cities around the world. Then, ladies and gentlemen, martial art began to be introduced on the silver screen. Movies and television began. Martial art was quickly booming in China and Hong Kong. Let's not forget these old martial art movies which had sword scenes that had been flying through airs for hours and didn't find a landing strip. Then it was time of the superstars, like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee introduced Chinese Kung Fu to the world. Enter the Dragon, ladies and gentlemen, is still one of my all-time favorites, and I think I owe my martial art career to Bruce Lee. It was him who inspired me making all sorts of Bruce Lee noises. You all remember his funny noises. It was him who inspired me to kick every tree in the forest. Let us remember Bruce Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Bruce Lee. But I think it was then that my mother realized that she better send me to a martial arts school, so I would learn that a lot of discipline, training, and dedication must go in all these moves which look so easy on TV. Now looking down the memory line, I wonder how did my mother actually make this decision? The choices were limited. There was no internet, And martial art was very oriental. There was maybe a couple of Taekwondo schools or Wushu schools. Aikido, Kendo was literally unknown. So I think the decision was probably based on my father's choice, so it was judo, probably thinking maybe one day I'm going to make it to the Olympic, or he could wrestle with me for the rest of his life on the carpet floor. I'm not really sure. But as a teenager, you play all sorts of sport. The mood changes daily. And I made my journey from judo to karate, from karate to boxing, from boxing to wrestling, and from wrestling to kung fu, Wing Chun, something I still practice with a passion today. Finally, I found my home in Muay Thai, competing, teaching, and becoming the administrator I am today. But, ladies and gentlemen, in the early days, martial arts has given me a framework: confidence, self-esteem, discipline, motivation, and most importantly, lots of friends. All these things I learned through my martial art journey. Whether I knew I was learning them or not, I think it's a totally different story. I hope you agree. The values learned: how to set goals, endure, take criticism, risk, respect my friends in the gym as much as my opponents outside, and cultural values and understanding, stay healthy and deal with stress, all prepared me for life. So much has changed to the old days. There are now thousands of Taekwondo, Karate, Aikido, Kendo schools in my region, operating as successful as the Western martial arts like boxing or wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, the silver screen has changed. In the old days, it would have been literally impossible, my mother joining me in the cinema watching ninjas disappear in smoke. But today, I can sit with my mother and with my daughter and watch beautiful martial art movies. Before I traveled to China, my 3-year-old beautiful daughter, she asked me, "Daddy, Daddy, where are you going?" I said, "Darling, Daddy's gonna go to China." And I was very surprised by her answer. She said, "Can you bring me Kung Fu Panda?" Now, ladies and gentlemen, the surprise was, there is a 3-year-old kid, which A, knows the Panther is from China. And secondly, Kung Fu is from China. So I think in the honor of my daughter, let's enjoy a couple of scenes of Kung Fu Panda.
Well done, students. I love Kung Fu! Quit, don't quit. Noodles, don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. You were saying?
And ladies and gentlemen, that is beautiful television. I believe that cultural barriers have been broken. The world has come much closer together, and there is a much needed cultural understanding. I also believe that everyone realized there are many, many benefits martial art has to offer, not just as a fighting sport. I would say the benefits of martial art are both diverse and potent. For example, children. Martial arts and combat training is an important tool, and I think every martial artist would agree, for discipline, founding values. There is no social difference. Everyone wears the same uniform. Children with low self-esteem can find confidence, learn how to handle stressful scenarios, find ways to clear the mind by doing katas in karate, or patterns in taekwondo, or forms in wushu, or the waiku in Muay Thai. Martial arts as a sport has many health benefits. Certainly cardiovascular benefits, muscle toning, certainly increases flexibility, and no doubt gives an overall improvement of coordination. Unlike many other martial arts, of forms, unlike many other forms of physical activity, martial arts, I would say, has often a mental and I would say spiritual element, which not only improves the mind, but also helps with self-control. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was not the golden child my parents wanted me to be in the first 12 years. I'm making up for it now, I promise you. But I have learned that emotions such as fear and anger are much better controlled through martial arts training. And ladies and gentlemen, improvement in martial art can and mostly comes in very, very little steps. But the feeling of pride comes as you advance. And I feel that is why many martial arts have belts or grading system. Every belt, Shah or Prajat adds more confidence into the practitioners. I feel again this is very beneficial for children as it has a crossover effect in many other areas. It is a proven fact that parents notice that children will generally become much more disciplined, which I believe, let's say, comes from the unique formalities of our martial art classes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very much opposed of sports being exclusive, where the only children who have a chance to succeed are those who are already skilled. In martial arts, we press for effort as much as for winning. A win at all cost atmosphere can be very harmful, especially for a developing youth. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, whoever said it is not about winning or losing may have lost a couple of matches too many, I feel. Ladies and gentlemen, I did a TV show once, and the host asked me, Mr. Fox, you have been a world champion and you have been known to be a very vicious fighter, which is not true, I was a very nice fighter. But you have been also known for your outstanding sportsmanship. In your opinion, what is good sportsmanship? Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to quote a sport, another sport, nothing to do with martial arts. I didn't want to be the philosopher. It is good sportsmanship to not pick up lost golf balls while they're still rolling. I think this is also one of the martial art mantra. Martial art, in my opinion, have immense psychological benefits. For me, again, the most important always is self-confidence. Students, both young and old, enjoy a significant boost in their personal poise and I would say self-assurance. Despite what many people believe, this confidence does not manifest as a result of being capable of physically defending themselves. In my opinion, it rather springs from reduced anxiety, increased personal discipline, and an improved ability, let's say, to negotiate potential hostile situations. And therefore, it is no coincidence that martial arts students tend to be involved in fewer, not more, violent confrontations. Their training gives them a much higher level of emotional maturity, and I feel as a result, they are less likely to confront others, preferring to steer clear of conflict. In Muaythai, we have a saying, never look down on anyone, except if it's helped to get them back on their feet. Our saying is also, friendship stops with the first punch and starts immediately again with the last. Cultural values play an important role in today's world. Martial art, in my opinion, has created a giant impact on society. As in any sport, teacher, Ajahn, Sensei, Sifu, however we call them, become role models for the younger generation. Ladies and gentlemen, this also can be negative, something I will touch later. Important, many martial arts are as much practiced with their body as they are practiced with their soul. I also believe that in martial arts, the competition must stay secondary. This again is very important for children and the older generation. The emphasis must be on fun, and to be part of the art and the sport is the most important element. We teach our students it is not all about competition and winning. It's about the fair way to win. But more importantly, that being part of the art is as important as competing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been to China many times, and the Chinese love their food. They love to eat. You ask any cook in the kitchen, spice is a very important part of any dish. But too much spice spoils the meat. And I feel the same in competition. In order to succeed, ladies and gentlemen, we first must be willing to fail. Something many martial art teaching have in common. I hope you agree. It is never the situation itself. In martial art, it is the reaction to the situation. And therefore, martial arts have many ethics. Unlike other sports, rude comments, getting mad, breaking the rules are not acceptable. Maybe the difference between other sports, it means immediate punishment in and out of the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, martial arts sisters and brothers, it is the discipline in martial art which plays the most important factor. Self-discipline or control in doing what has to be done according to objectives and values, rather than doing what feels good, are more professional and acceptable as it teaches valuable lessons in life. And I hope you agree when I say, when someone's actions show respect and value for others' participation, this is better than blatant disrespect and self-glorification character in demonstrating good values. Will always be much more highly regarded than showing off in, let's say, in the winning at all costs. Friends, we have all our burdens in life, but I feel what makes martial arts stand out from others is the way we carry it. Martial art has enormous benefits for all ages. How old is too old? You tell me. I feel, personally, you're never too old to become younger. That way, we can die as old, but as young as possible. And a never-growing child I am, I feel there's nothing sadder as to wake up on Christmas morning and not to be a child anymore. And ladies and gentlemen, on the right side is actually our president, Dr. Sakchai, 71 years of age, conducting a Good Morning Dubai class at the last SportAccord. I would like to show a small clip from one of our practitioners from England, 79 years of age.
I'm Theo Miles. I'm a regular attender at the Darlington Boxing and Martial Arts Academy. I'm 79 years old tomorrow, the 10th of July, and I enjoy coming here. It keeps me fit, it keeps me mentally alert, and among all the other interests I have, I rate this as being absolutely essential to keeping young.
Ladies and gentlemen, he just turned 81 and he's still practicing Muaythai. I think that is a very beautiful achievement. Once I was walking down with a very famous Tai Chuan master. I'd done a demonstration on that day, and he also done a Tai Chi demonstration. And we walked up to a temple in the evening. He was 88 years young, and he was marching forward like a good soldier, and I really had problems catching up with him. So he turned around and he said, "Come on, Muay Thai superstar, let's go." So he put a challenge on me. Certainly, in the last 30, 40 meters, I could have beaten him, but I stayed close behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, an hour later he came to me and he said, "Stephan, you are a true martial artist." The respect between old and young, ladies and gentlemen, is always be an important tool, and I feel the foundation of martial arts and combat sports. Personally, I believe that martial arts also plays a very important tool in crime prevention. Edmund Burke said, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Ladies and gentlemen, the time is always right to do what is right. This is martial arts. Martial arts prevents crime through deterrence, I feel, reinforcement of proper values, and certainly rehabilitation. If I talk about deterrence, that's very easy to explain. Martial arts have a deterrent effect on crime. Simply, martial art practitioners are able to prevent a crime from happening to him or his loved ones. An individual trained in martial arts may be much better equipment to defend an attacker. Hence, he decreases the chances of a crime by, let's say, making the potential criminal work just a little bit harder for their gratification. Reinforcement of proper values. I feel martial arts is a social institution, have the following effect. First, increasing bonds to schools, peers, and society. Second, promoting universal values and ethics. Third, developing of physical and social competence. And ladies and gentlemen, I talk about rehabilitation. In my opinion, being in the martial art industry for so many years, I feel martial arts definitely serves as a rehabilitative institution. The martial arts fraternity is abounding with anecdotal evidence, reforming hardened criminals into instructors, delinquents into champions. Martial art instills discipline, respect, and preaching, doing good deed. The regimen and discipline in martial art also ensure that errant individuals are sanctioned quickly and fairly, I feel, for wrongdoings. This develops commitment towards the broader society and, in my opinion, hence prevents crime. A youth may be walking the wrong path in life, may achieve excellence in martial arts, in learning values such as respect, honor, excellence, and fair play. I feel the important elements of all our life. Therefore, I feel it's crucial for all the good men and women in martial arts to continue in their rich traditions and cultures. For it's their art that made good men. It's their art that prevails in crime prevention, where other social institutions may have difficulties. And ladies and gentlemen, when there's a yin, there is a yang. I feel martial arts also is commonly associated with violence and brutality. This situation is worsened by the use of martial arts, let's say in certain undesirable vocations such as bouncers, debt collectors, etc. I think this is the result simply of the martial art tough guy image. Ladies and gentlemen, on the contrary, this motion runs against the core values and tradition of all martial arts. Martial arts prides itself on respect and self-control. The control of violence rather than the use of violence is the mantra. And a very wise grasshopper once said, run before you fight, fight before you maim, maim before you kill. I think it is this principle that embodies the essence of various martial arts. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I feel the basket must be protected from the proverbial bad eggs. Fortunately, inherent in various martial arts is a very strict filtration mechanism. This prevents teaching the wrong individual that might tarnish the tradition, history, culture, and name of all our arts. It also weeds out the negative elements I mentioned before. New entrants are screened by senior figures before being allowed membership. An assessment of character and motive for learning martial arts is made to ensure that the individual is not picking up martial arts to aid his criminal intent. Ladies and gentlemen, the ranking system also very important. The ranking system in various martial arts filters out the bad eggs. As one moves up the ranks, he is not only tested on proficiency, but very important, on character development. Ladies and gentlemen, there are millions and millions and millions of people all across the world that practice martial arts. Some are masters, some are first-time students. But one thing that all martial arts share is respect for another. And ladies and gentlemen, I feel without this respect for each other, this SportAccord Combat Games would have never come off the ground. Here we are, 13 world recognized martial art and combat sports. Some Olympic, some non-Olympic. But from day one, there was a genuine respect in the meeting rooms. And ladies and gentlemen, probably no greater honor can come to any man than the respect of his colleague. And I think this is the success of this game. Men are only respectable if they respect others. We may come from soft or hard styles. We may fight on the ring or on the tatami. We may use weapons, gloves, or bare knuckles. But one thing we all have in common is that we have been taught and that we are teaching to respect one another. We all have learned, I would say, through martial arts, unless you try to do something beyond what you already achieved, you will never grow This is what we achieved here. And I think this sums up the social contribution and values of combat discipline. To live together in harmony, peace, and respect. But let there be no doubt, at any given time, we are ready for any challenge our short time on this beautiful planet throws upon us. Ladies and gentlemen, this cooperation is for the good of all martial arts and societies. We, as a martial art group in SportAccord, must, and I promise you today, will continue this work. Every martial art is part of its own history, but I think together, ladies and gentlemen, we have made history as a whole. I must bow down to you, to all my martial arts sisters and brothers. We all, ladies and gentlemen, are part of thousands of years of history, but I feel yesterday the future has just begun. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephan.